Look at what is happening at our gas stations. People are showing up with plastic buckets, milk jugs, and even open pressure cookers, draining the pumps to hoard loose petrol for their homes. They believe they are surviving a crisis, but this side-by-side diagram illustrates the immediate danger of doing this. On the right, a vehicle's sealed gas tank strictly limits contact between the fuel and the air. On the left, petrol sitting in an open household bucket evaporates incredibly fast. It is a highly volatile chemical with a very low boiling point, and that vapor doesn't just float away into the sky. Petrol gas is heavier than ambient air. As the liquid evaporates, the heavy vapor sinks straight down, pooling across the floor to create a dense, invisible layer of combustible fog inside these homes. At that point, all it takes is a single accidental spark, from a light switch, a static charge, or a kitchen stove, and that entire invisible layer will instantly combust. Uninformed panic is now the most immediate physical threat to our citizens. By hoarding loose petrol, families are creating literal bombs inside their own homes to save a few rupees on fuel. The fear driving this behavior started with international headlines. The escalating conflict involving the US, Israel, and Iran has raised anxieties about the safety of global shipping routes. But the reality on the water tells a different story. The Indian Navy is already actively escorting our LPG carriers through the Strait of Hormuz. They are directly securing our energy supply lines right now. Yet sensationalist media reporting overrides this stable reality. By broadcasting non-stop speculation about imminent national shortages, they trigger irrational mass hoarding. You get hundreds of cars idling in dense nighttime queues, draining local stations dry in hours. This sudden spike in civilian demand provides the perfect cover for black market cartels. While regular people panic over a few liters, these groups are quietly stockpiling essential commodities. Police in places like Delhi and Jhansi have busted rings loading trucks with hundreds of illicit gas cylinders. These cartels intentionally hold on to that massive inventory to orchestrate a fake supply crunch. When neighborhoods run out of gas, desperation sets in, allowing the black marketeers to artificially inflate prices and force people to pay whatever they demand. The scarcity currently devastating local neighborhoods is a manufactured crisis. It is a destructive feedback loop where media hysteria creates the exact conditions for organized criminals to hijack the supply chain. Storing hundreds of LPG cylinders requires space, logistics, and visibility. These operations are not invisible. Yet, under the Essential Commodities Act, illegal hoarding carries up to 7 years in jail. The fact that these cartels operate so openly suggests local politicians and law enforcement are taking their cut instead of enforcing the law. This bar chart compares India's current strategic fuel reserve capacity against the optimal safety targets. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, we have failed to build up our reserves on a war footing. Right now, we operate on a fragile 70 to 80-day safety net. Operating with such thin margins guarantees that the moment a minor geopolitical disruption occurs abroad, the shockwave hits the domestic consumer market almost instantly. We have left ourselves completely exposed. Political leaders continue to burn thousands of liters of fuel on massive election roadshows and rallies. While the national infrastructure strains to meet daily needs, these high-consumption convoys signal that fuel is an infinite resource, even as local queues grow longer. We have a culture that relies entirely on jugaad, every citizen finding their own messy, individual workaround. When individuals hoard for themselves while the government ignores these structural flaws, a true global energy shock will guarantee a catastrophic system collapse. We cannot arrest our way out of this vulnerability. National security now requires aggressively eliminating our dependency on imported energy through domestic alternatives. That means replacing combustion transport at scale. We need to build out a nationwide, reliable electric vehicle charging network. Until long-distance EV travel is practical, the massive demand for imported petrol will remain fixed. We also have to scale up domestic fuel alternatives. Large-scale biogas processing facilities exist right now. They turn the nation's organic waste directly into usable energy, solving a sanitation issue and an energy deficit simultaneously. The technology to reduce fossil fuel reliance inside our homes is already here. Indoor solar cooking systems, like the Surya Newton, can run entirely on solar power during the day. The government already knows these technologies exist, But until heavy state investment mainstreams macro infrastructure, we remain completely at the mercy of foreign supply chains and volatile global shipping lanes. Infrastructure takes time, but today our most immediate power lies in our daily consumption. Look at our roads. Endlessly gridlocked traffic means thousands of liters of fuel are wasted every hour just to keep engines idling. We can cut that waste today. If your commute allows it, utilize public transit. Organize office carpools to share the daily commute. And if you are stuck at a traffic signal for more than 30 seconds, turn off your engine. In your kitchen, small habits dictate how long a gas cylinder lasts. Take food out of the fridge and let it reach room temperature. Cover your pots to retain heat. Dry your dishes completely before turning on the burner. True patriotism and survival during a global resource crisis require collective civic discipline. We protect the system by conserving what we have, rather than letting selfish panic destroy it from the inside out.